Hi everyone. I'm just going to give it a minute for hopefully some folks to log on. We're just setting up for Pilates at 11 right now. So if you have a mat, feel free to grab one. If you don't have a mat, just look for maybe a beach towel or even a blanket, or just having a little bit of a surface underneath you and like your wood floor. So we'll take a minute. It looks like some folks are starting to log on. So if you'd like to start to grab those things, grab some water, and we'll come get ready in a minute. All right, I don't know who's on though. Oh, I see Beth's on. Hi, Beth. So as I said, and there's a couple more faces. So my name's Kim, and I teach Pilates at Hampshire Hills. I'm one of the instructors there. I teach on Thursdays at 10. Gosh, I miss class so much. But now that we're all stuck at home, we're doing things a little differently. So we are going to be doing a mat Pilates class. Hi, Vilda. Hi, Luke. So we're going to do a mat Pilates class today, probably around a 45-minute class, targeting more so on like the lower body, the bum, the hips, all those good joints and stuff. So if you don't have a mat at home, beach towel is always a great option. You can kind of like layer a couple of them up, or even just like being on a carpeted surface, something that's a little thicker. Hi, Chan. I just recommend that instead of using just straight like floor, because it might be a little too much. So, all right. So some other things to think about while we're waiting for a couple more to join in. Different grounds are, we're very blessed at the club to have that cork floor. A lot of us don't have that at our home. I know I don't. I have wood floor and a thin like rug that I'm practicing on. So for me, I need to get like a little towel sometimes if I am doing like side lying work, which we will be doing today, or even knee stuff. So grab one of these, have it nearby just in case. All right, water, mat, your body, that's pretty much all you need today. We aren't going to be using any props. We might venture to like that as we go. We'll see. But I do want you to let me know if there's a certain body part that you want focused on that's feeling extra tight and a little uncomfortable. Hi, Lisa. Or even if there's, a move that you're missing that your body's craving, or maybe you've been wanting to work on some props. Balls we often don't have at home, but everybody has a pillow. So that's always an option. We can always play with that too. So something to think about. One more thing, last week a couple people reached out about having like a little bit of wrist sensitivity with holding plank so much. Always an option to come to that fist, so to keep the wrist flat. Or if you have a block, I know some folks have blocks or books, use those, and that will help you kind of stack the wrist a little bit more, letting the fingers fall off. It might feel a little bit better on the wrist, so another option to grab while we wait. One more thing, so then we can get into it. It is a virtual class. Obviously, I can't see you. I wish I could. I miss you all so much. So I can't tweak you. I can't look at your form and let you know, like, hey, drop this hip or unload your spine this way. I wish I could see you all, but I can't. So I want to make sure that you're practicing safe posture, body awareness, that you're not going to hurt yourself. So please listen to yourself. Practice, with confidence, but also with mindful of how you're moving and just how you're feeling. So just be careful, please. All right, if you're ready, we're going to begin. I think that's all I have to say. I'm just like looking at my list here. We have our pops, we have our name, all that stuff. Perfect. Music. I'm not going to play any music. I know some folks like to hear the music. To be honest, I don't know how well you can hear me. I have my kids running around. They're probably going to supply some sort of music in and out. So if you do want music, just turn on some in the background. All right, you ready? I know there's jokes coming around, but I don't know what's being said. That was one thing. Everyone said they needed a little more jokes from me, and I'm like, well, it's hard to like give jokes when it's just me. So I do miss you all so much because of that, especially. So we're going to start standing. I know this is a little different. It's not something I typically do. But I like it. I like to be able to connect with you. I like you to be able to see me. I think that one-on-one connection is really important when we are home and we are alone. So already just talking to you makes me feel like I'm not just talking to myself anymore. So stand up in your mat, please. And I'm going to move way back here, so hopefully you can see me a little better. And we're just going to start with some arm circles to start to find our breath. So just begin by finding a strong footing on your feet. So lift off the toes, and then I want you to just kind of shift your weight back just a bit. and then plant them down and lift off the heels, shifting your weight forward. And then just round back, find that midline of the foot, you know, that four corners, and let the feet just land almost right underneath the hips. Now, lengthen through the legs, pulling the quads in, stacking through the hips, and just bracing the belly. We're going to try to find that breath first. So elongating the spine, tucking the rib cage down, letting the shoulders land as they wish, and then the arms just kind of fall. So there's a little bit of width through the body here. Now find that softness and just kind of settle in. Shake through the hips, the knees, whatnot, and then grow. Okay, strong footing. Letting the arms land. Focus on the breath. If you want to close your eyes, please feel free to do so. Just take a minute to just stand here and breathe. Taking a big breath in through the nose, and then just let it go same way through the nose. Now on the next breath, as you take a big breath in, take that big breath in, find that pause, that moment where you hold, and then exhale everything out through the mouth. So finding that Pilates breath. Good, now find that hold, that pause. And again, take another big breath in, breathe in, hold, and then let everything go again through the mouth. Now, as you're breathing, I want you to focus on the belly, what the belly is doing. So start to gently tuck the tailbone and round through the core. Brace the belly strong here. Now, when I say brace the belly, it's the thought of almost connecting everything together. So you're bringing the rib cage down to the hips, making everything connect. Like you have those pants that we're going to try to put on for the first time after our quarantine, and we're going to pull our belly in really tight and try to squeeze them so we can get that button done. That's the feeling I want you to feel. I want you to feel that hold. And hopefully when you get there, you'll be like, oh, these fit great because I did Pilates with Kim. So keep that hold, keep that brace on that lower belly. Keep everything soft around it though. And find another big breath in. Breathe in, hold at the top, and then let everything go. And when I say let it go, let the breath go. Let the body stay relaxed, but let that belly stay nice and tall. Perfect. Now on the next breath, take the arms, circle them overhead, and just let them go with a breath. Slowly circling, raising the arms up and down. As you circle, make sure you tuck the rib cage in, drop the shoulders down in the pocket. Another big breath in. Good. We are going to come into a chair pose. So arms will come in front. Our bum will start to sit back over our heels, and we'll tuck the tailbone even more if we haven't. Bracing the core. Chest grows strong here. So lifting that chest up. Let the arms come back so we can peek at them through the sides and just sit back. Now come back to stand. Let the arms follow. Squeezing through the bum. Again, sitting back down. Rolling into the heels, sitting back, and then squeeze and lift. Good. Coming again. Bracing the core. Nice long spine. Exhaling, raising. Another big breath in as you sit down. Raise up. One more time. When we sit down, I want you to hold here. Arms will circle. The arms will float to the back, and I want the palms to press to the behind. Now, nice long arms like the 100. We're going to press down just like the 100. This time, though, we'll alternate a heel lift. So start by lifting up the right heel and press back. Now switch heels, press back. So you're finding that alternate sit down. So you're sitting down with one heel lift as a press, one heel lift with a press. Keep coming. I'm just going to make sure that none of this is saying volume. Perfect. All right. So keep pressing back. Finding that sit down, pressing through the heels. Now squeeze the arms behind. I want you to squeeze the shoulder blades. Feel the back turn on. Feel the lengths of the arms, the lengths of the legs. Press down even deeper. Good. Like a high heel. Press back. Now check in with the rib cage. Is it tucked down? Is the spine nice and long? Take two more. Last one. Now when the right heel is up, stay here. Hold here for a minute. Ignore the legs. Arms. We're going to bend at the elbows and extend back with one little pulse in the legs. So standing up, bending, sitting back. So finding that bend and press. Now you're just coming in and out here, squeezing through the arms, pressing behind even more. That one heel continues to raise up as you come up and down. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Touch that heel down. We'll switch. The other heel lifts up. Hold here. Arms stay where they are. Palms will flip. This time we'll pull in. Ready? Come up. Squeeze in. So as you're finding that bend and that extend, I want you to find those tiny little micro movements. Really squeezing through the arms. Waking up the triceps and the biceps. Waking up the back. Waking up all those little teeny tiny muscles. And 2 more. Last one. Good. We'll touch down. I want you to take arms. Another big breath in. Bring them down. Place them right on the hip. Sorry, you can't see me here. Now, taking that right leg again, load everything to the left leg. You're going to take the right leg, peek it out to the side, and back in. Now, as you're doing this, the standing leg has a little bend to it. The opposite foot reaches away. I don't have a ton of room here, but I'm still making it work. Focus on the chest being lifted right over the big toe, and the nose reaching out almost kind of to that diagonal view. Take 2 more. Last one. This time, we'll kick to the back and then reach to the side. I come over a tiny bit, excuse me. So finding that swing, and you're adding in a little bit of that movement, a little challenge to the core here. Belly still stays nice and tight, pulled in, core still lifted. Now, if you want the challenge option, take your toe off and let it stay as you rotate back and forth. Good, stay there. 2 more. Last one. Foot will come back, reset. So come back and load the right leg this time. Left foot will start with just tapping out and in. Now avoid that shift. Watching myself, I kind of came over. We don't want that. We want to stay nice and peaked tall here. Good, so reaching through and back. Stay as still as possible through the upper body, rolling the shoulders back, finding that brace, still fitting in those too tight jeans. Stay here. Last one. Now to the back. Tap back and to the side. So it's like a little bit of a power Pilates today. We're not taking as many breaks because we don't have a ton of time, but we're going to make do. I want you to take breaks though when works for you. Keep the leg up if you'd like. So join us when you're ready. Find what works for your body today. We'll take 2 more. And last one. Perfect. All right, coming to your mat if you're not already. We're going to come down onto all fours into that horse stance. Making sure you can see me okay. So fingertips, hands will be flat right underneath the shoulders. Now I mentioned at the beginning that there were some folks that said that was a little too much on the hands. Hopefully it's not as much today because there's a little bit more support with the knees being down. If you find it is too much, bring your hand to that fist position and just hold here like this. So it will help the wrist. Another option is to grab books or a block or something that might give a little bit more padding, just to kind of reduce the angle. All right, when you're ready. So hands are right down underneath the shoulders. Knees are underneath the hips, so they're a little bit wider here. Now, I want you to pull the belly into the spine. And while you do that, we have the tendency of thinking about pulling the belly button in and kind of coming up. I don't want that. I want the spine to continue to stay long, but I want you to think of the belly button as its own entity. So pull that in and brace that core. Now, think about lengthening the spine long, but then shortening the distance between the ribs and the hips. So they're almost kissing, they're pulling in. Now, did you feel that little change there? So again, grow through the spine. So lengthen through the back of the body. Chin is tucked. Long spine. Now pull the rib cage down. And that helps you brace the core more. Perfect. Now, shift yourself forward so that chest is peeking right over the hands and there's even weight between the legs and the hands. Press through the hands and feel that strong footing. Now take the front leg and take it behind. So still squareness within the hips, even though everything's kind of shifted. Take that leg and to start to lift it up and lower it down. Good. So you're lifting up, lowering down. The hip is dropped, the bum is squeezing tight. There's length through the back of the leg here. The hands are evenly pressing, even though we have that tendency to want to shift away. Continue to press evenly, squeezing each armpit. On the next lift, hold up here. Flex the foot, bend the leg in, and extend back. So as you bend and extend, you're keeping the leg nice and lifted. Good. Trying to keep it right at that hip-shoulder height. Take 2 more. Last one. When the bend comes in, I want you to hold there. Press, find that little micro lift to the sky, flexing the foot like you're kicking up like a firefly or a donkey kick, squeezing the bum, elevating and lowering that kneecap. Good, right up and down. 2 more. Last one, hold here. The hands will stay where they are. We're gonna come through with 3 push-ups. So shifting the weight forward just a bit, bringing the chest over the hands even more so. Drop your weight down, bending at the elbows, and then raise back up again. So the chest will dip to the floor, elbows stay in nice and close to the chest, and lift back up. So not a plank here, we're in a tabletop position, but we're shifting our weight forward so the hands stay loaded, the elbows work here, the triceps turn on. Good. Now take that leg nice and long again. We'll take the back arm and lift it to the back wall. So we're in this like T position. Take that arm, lift it away, and we'll thread the needle. So the back leg stays lifted, and we're just rotating the upper body underneath, reaching through, and extending back out. So find that roll through the spine, that reach, and extend. Keep that back leg lifted, nice and tall. 2 more here. Good. And last one. When it comes through, I want you to stop. Take that arm, touch it down. So we're on the elbow, the forearm, and the hand is down. Now hands will come together in this position, or near so. You're gonna want your hands, fingertips almost facing each other, or tapping. All right, now that back leg is long, but what changed here is our shoulders should still relatively be square to the floor, but what's stacking is our hips. Our hips are open here. So see that little change? We went from here to here, so we're stacking that hip. Now, take the foot towards the front of the room, nice long leg, and reach it towards the back. Good. So you're squeezing through the bum to lift and reach to the back wall. Continue to pull the belly in nice and tight. Good. So a nice long line here. Avoid the arching through the spine. If you need to take this down a notch, it's a little too much, that's okay. Keep squeezing the bum. 2 more. Last one. Now when it comes to the front, hold here. We'll lift to the front, up and down. So like that fire hydrant lift, like a little dog. Lift up the leg. 3 more. 2. Last one. The leg will circle around behind. We'll pull in for a bend as we peek towards the knee and extend back. Good. Find that little peak. Extend and reach. So you'll see here that the spine does begin to curl as you peek, but it still continues to stay nice and long when you extend. Almost to the end of this section. Last one here. Leg stays nice and long. We'll circle. Find a nice big circle in one direction. You are doing amazing. Find your breath. Keep breathing in and out. When you get to the top, stop there. Switch directions. Keep pressing through the forearm. Pressing through that hand that's on the ground. Finding a fist if that works for you. And then touch down. Good. We're going to come to the hip. So landing the hip onto the floor, the bottom leg stays bent, and then that bottom arm continues to stay down. So just a slight little change here. The only thing that really changes is my chest now is open to you, okay? So I went from here to here. My hips are still square. Now, we're gonna begin by taking that top leg again to the front, very similar to before. The bottom arm stays down. This is the only one that adds like a little bit of like that brain-body connection of like I'm moving, I'm changing things, and I need to think through it. So I'll show you. Feel free to join me when you kind of get it. So the foot will start in the front. When it's down, we're all down, okay? The knee is down. The hand can be to the hip, the hand can be to the ground, the hand can be to the sky. It doesn't matter. What I'm looking for is you to open up and lift. So taking that foot, when it lifts up to the back of the corner of the room, we're gonna press through the side body here, engage the obliques, and lift off, okay? So lifting back and reaching, then coming back forward. So finding that extension with the leg reaches, the body turns on and comes back, okay? You may find that you need to bring the knee back a little bit so you have a little bit more space to play with. That's okay. Good. So join me for 4 more. Good. 2 more. And last one. Now your option here, you can stay in that lifted position or you can stay with the hip down. I want everyone to remain though on the elbow. Spine stays long, okay? So keep the neck in line with the spine. Elbow is down, hand to the hips, okay? Bottom leg can stay down or it can be lifted as well and stay on the knee. So hip or knee, okay? Now we're gonna take that top leg, lift it up and lower. Perfect. So option to stay here, Or if you're challenging yourself, coming here and lifting up and down. Good. Take 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Now we're going to take that leg. We are going to circle it. Same as before, tiny little circles to one direction. Remember, option to come here. Pay attention to those shoulders. Pull them away from the ears. Good. Widen through the chest. When you get to the top, stop. Switch directions. I see lots of words, and I hope no one's saying, I can't hear you. Your thing froze. So I'll peek in just a minute. Come to the top, stop. Now, one more move we're going to do. Come to the hip. Everyone, if you haven't yet, leg stays nice and long. We're going to reach and extend and then add in a little bit of a knee like crunch. So I'm going to take my leg, reach it towards the back just a bit here, and I'm going to take my top arm and reach it towards the front. Feel that great stretch there. I want you to hold for a minute. Take the arm, reach it as far away as you can, and see if you can feel a little bit of a twist through the obliques, maybe a squeeze through the bum. Let that go and just feel that stretch. Find the breath. Good. Now the bottom hip is down, right? Stays down, doesn't move. That bottom leg stays still. We're going to take that top arm, circle it overhead, and let the knee come in with a little crunch, like a micro crunch. It can come all the way if it wants. Doesn't matter. Now again, reach back. If you want to elevate the leg, the arm, feel free. Come back in again. Sorry, it's hard to see the full extension when there are some chairs and stuff in my way, but we will make do. So what I'm looking for is that nice long line that you're reaching, you're pulling, you're finding that stretch, and then that squeeze. Turning on the obliques, turning on the hips, turning on that bum area. Take 2 more. Good. And the last one. Perfect. Now I want you to roll to your backs, and I want you to find a figure 4 stretch. So take that back leg, flex the foot, put it onto the front knee, and I want you to just pull the knee in, threading the needle, see if you can reach around and pull that leg in. Now stay here for just a stretch. I'm going to just double check that none of this stuff is anything needs. Perfect. All right, so stay with that stretch for just a minute longer. Slowing the breath down, grabbing some water if you need to. We're going to come onto our next back section. Hoping you can see me. All right, so keeping the feet flexed flat into the mat, letting the knees land so they're about hip width apart, and letting just that lower back be soft for a moment. Okay, so finding our grounding position. We want to focus on, when we're here, a nice long spine, a gentle tuck to the tailbone, and still that brace, like you're trying to squeeze on those pants, okay? So really squeeze the belly in tight so it's supporting the back, and press it down just a little bit to feel that back engagement. Good. Now, widen through the shoulders. Take up space. I want you to be big and beautiful. Take up space, and then bring the fingertips to the temples. I want you to avoid pulling from the back of the neck because I want you to keep the chin nice and long and the spine long, the chin tucked, the breath long, the ribs tucked, everything tucked in and moving only to the side. Now, when you're ready, fingertips will be there as a guide, but your chin will start to tuck and we'll just peek up with that little tiny crunch when we bring the rib cage down. Give our hips a nice little quick kiss and then roll back down again. So you're lifting up through almost that belly button line. Everything stays lowered and pressing to the floor from that point forward to the ground and down again. So the shoulder blades roll up off the mat as you peek looking through the legs and then roll back down again. Stay here, find that softness through the ankles, the knees, just the lower back as it presses to the mat. Release the bum, try not to squeeze it too tight, finding a little bit of softness. Good, we'll take one more up and we'll hold here. Hands can stay to the temples or arms can come long. They can reach long or they can come down. Sorry, I thought there was a little quick blip of a freeze. All right, the knees will come up to that 90-degree angle or bug. Now, 2 choices here. You can find the 90-degree angle and let the knees stop right over the hips. Or perhaps if you want to turn it on a little bit more, find a little bit more degree here and let the toes reach almost more to that 45-degree angle point. Now the reason for that, it adds a little bit more load to the lower belly, the lower back. It makes you work a little harder. So something else to try. All right, we're going to come through with an alternating toe tap. If this is too much on the neck, I want you to touch down, continuing to lift to the sky. Just let the arms rest. If not, find the head, neck, and shoulders to be turned on, pulling the rib cage down. We'll alternate tapping down the toe and lifting back up again. Now, as you tap, as you raise and lower, you're looking to keep the angle of the legs the same. So I'm not coming right down to the floor like this. I'm reaching away. I'm trying to reach almost off my mat, a little bit further away. Perfect. So stay with that reach. Stay with squeezing the belly in nice and tight, dropping the shoulder blades away from the ears, finding that strength that's hiding. It's there. Take 2 more. Last one here. We'll keep the knees where they are. The toes will stay together, heels together. Now I want you to open the knees up like a butterfly or a V position. So if you're looking from here, the legs will open and then the legs will close. I want you to take the inner thighs, squeeze them together as you squeeze the legs in and out. Now it's hard because there's not gravy. We're not working through jello or anything like that. So I want you to really think about that resistance as you squeeze in and out. Again, dropping the head if you need to, or keeping it elevated, keeping the core turned on just a little bit more. Good, take 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Keeping the legs out, we'll alternate toe tap. Tap down with the outside foot. Good, and back up. So as you're reaching, same thing. You want to find that same angle. You don't want to pull too far. You don't want to pull too close. Keeping that nice big bend and tap with that pinky toe, the outside of the leg. Take 2 more. Last one. Keeping the legs nice and wide. We'll bring the fingertips to the temples. Again, finding that crunch. This time, though, with the knees nice and wide, we'll peek up. We'll look through the legs, and then we'll lower down. Option to leave the legs where they are in that 90-degree, almost 45 bend. Or if you want to add one more load to it, you can always toe tap down. Another choice is if you're starting to feel tired, let the toes just drop down. Let the knees continue to be wide and still continue to crunch up. Good, we'll take 2 more. And the last one. Everybody let the head go, take the legs in, find a nice big squeeze, and I want you to rock back and forth, just releasing through the back body here. A nice little poor man's massage. Now let the neck go, maybe giving that a yes and a no as well. And find just a nice big breath. I want you to take a big breath in and just let everything go through the mouth. Slowly with each of these breaths, we'll just release a little bit more of that tension that we're hanging on to and just hopefully find a little bit more peace. Now's a good time, if you can, peek outside, see that sunshine. We're finally getting back to hopefully some happier weather. So when you're ready, let's turn it on just a little bit more. We're going to take the knees back to where they were. The feet are together. The knees are nice and wide. So in that butterfly position. Now this time I want you to flex the feet. We're going to frog press them away, and we'll add in that 100 arms. So the arms will start overhead, the thumbs peeking towards the ground, the rib cage tucked in, spine is long, chin is tucked. Okay, so this is our starting position here. Now I'm going to lift my head, neck, and shoulders. The arms will follow, and my legs will press away. Good. Now again, return back in. If this is too much, I want you to take the toes, drop them down towards the floor, and just come a little bit closer. Good. Be mindful of where the knees are, though, as you circle through, and squeeze those inner thighs together. Good. So lifting off, trying to avoid coming all the way up to that boat or that teaser position. You know, really turning on the core so it has to start and think, so you have to stop and not continue to roll away. Squeezing those inner thighs. Feel the length through the legs. Feel that press, that strength through the arms as you press down. Take 2 more. Good. And last one. Pressing away. Good. Knees will come in. We'll keep the chest up lifted, holding here. Take that front leg, bring it back to that bug position in that 90-degree angle. Back leg will circle away, and we're going to bicycle kick. Head can stay lifted, or if it's too much, touch down. The leg will come through like it's riding a bicycle. Lower back presses down, belly's nice and strong. Take one more big bike here. Come back to the top, switch directions. Roll the other way. So take it, scoop through, press through the leg. Feel that length, feel that strength. Good, just kind of releasing the lactic acid. The further away the press, the harder you're working. You've got it. One more big circle, come back to that 90-degree bug angle, hold there, switch legs, front leg if you haven't, take that big bicycle kick out. Good, reaching and pulling. Keep rolling through, pedaling that bike. One more time to the top, and I want you to hold there, find that pause, and switch directions, press away. Now again, if the neck is starting to get sore, I want you to touch down. Think about growing in that neck though while you hold that position. So you're pulling from the belly button, you're lengthening the spine, the chin is tucked, so everything's long here, really growing tall. And there's a bug floating around. Take one more, hold here. Take everything in. Again, find that nice little bug position, that little tiny ball that you're in. Give yourself a nice big rock if you'd like. And then we are going to explode. So we're going to take our legs, holding this position, we'll reach out in a double leg extension. So taking the toes, the legs, squeeze them together long, take the arms overhead, reach and press away, and then crunch in, lifting the head, neck, and shoulders off the mat. So the lower back will stay continuing to press down towards the floor, and then roll in. If it's too much on the lower back to extend the legs that way, I want you to reach them to the sky, and then find a nice big bend. And use this as just an extension exercise. You're extending, feeling the length through the legs, the length through the arms, and then you're rolling in, finding just the crunch. Good, letting it go. So reaching out, holding there for a breath, coming back in. We'll take two more here. And last one. Good. Finding that little tiny ball, the legs will come to the sky, the head will drop. So the feet will be squeezing together, heels together, toes will be slightly apart and pointed. Now I want you to grow through the legs. Think about lengthening them out from the front, from the back, from the hips. So really growing long, pressing that lower belly towards the spine, which will reach through and wrap towards the floor. So pressing it down. Now arms are nice and long, supporting the body, nice long spine. They can be resting next to the body, they can be wide. What we're focused on is that lower back, so really press that down here. Now squeeze the legs together. We'll slowly start to drop them towards the floor, stopping when you feel that you're losing the connection of the back to the mat, and then I want you to take the legs right back up to the sky again. Try to keep them pressing together the entire time, squeezing the inner thighs. Good, dropping down towards the floor, feel that connection of the back. If it's still there, then come right back up again. Taking it again, reaching through the toes, feeling the lengths of the legs as you come up and down, coming back to the sky. Last one here, slowly drop yourself all the way to the floor. Perfect. As you get there, if you want, find a nice big stretch here. Let the back lift off the floor, reach through the arms, reach through the toes, maybe give the ankles a little shake, whatever you need. And then I want you to take the legs, bend them up so they're feet to the floor. I don't know if you can see that very well. Feet to the floor. Knees are right now together, but we're going to take them apart in that clam position. Okay, so knees are nice and wide. Feet are together. Those heels are pressing into each other. The belly is just soft right now. We haven't traveled up that way. Okay, we're going to start with a roll up. So, finding the upper body's length, we're going to tuck the chin, let it travel down through the hips. Brace the belly nice and tall here. Pull it in tight, like though you're putting on those pants, okay? Knees are wide, okay? Lower back starting to press towards the floor, and the arms will come overhead. Now, as you lift them overhead, continue to drop the shoulder blades down through the back and keep the ribs down, okay? So you can see the change if I come like up here, lifting through the ribs, or if I'm here, I'm tucking them down and in, okay? So that's what I want. Tuck them down and in. Now take a big breath. We're going to come through with that roll up we saw last week. So the arms will start to circle overhead. As they get about here is when things start to travel. So use them to help you lift up. The arms continue to circle, the head starts to lift, the chin tucks, and the back starts to peel. So start to roll up one vertebrae at a time, coming over and reaching over. Good, you'll find that reach. Now roll back. Scoop through the spine. Start to roll one vertebrae at a time. Now remember, the knees are nice and wide here and the feet are together. So we're turning on a different part of the body. Keeping the ribcage locked down, the shoulders down. Nice long spine. You'll roll through. Feel free to grab the legs if you need a little extra support. Find that nice big stretch. If you'd like, you can stack the spine And then start to slowly roll back one vertebrae at a time. Good. Coming again, finding what works for your body, rolling through. Using this as just a release, relaxing through the spine, feeling that stretch, releasing through the lactic acids, finding that softness, that strength that's hiding there. And we'll take one more up. Coming all the way up to that seated position. I want you to take the feet in just a little bit closer to the body in that butterfly stretch. Bring the palms together, the soles of the feet together. Knees will stay wide, and I want you to lift yourself forward, bringing the chest closer towards the knees, dipping them down, and just finding a nice big stretch here. See if you can find the breath releasing through the hips and the bum, softening down, just finding that stillness. All right, coming back to that seated position, we'll take the feet again to the mat. We're going to have them again right next to each other. So the soles of the feet are still pressing to the mat, but their ankles are together-ish. Now I want you to take the knees wide like we have been seeing, okay? Now, shoulder blades are pulling down away from the ears. The arms will come in front. We're going to C-shape the spine. So right now, we've stacked the spine nice and tall. So nice, long, stacked spine, okay? Now I want you to scoop the belly in tight and start to just roll yourself back. Almost in that C shape, like you're coming all the way back for that roll up, but I want you to stop and hold there. Now again, come back up to that seated position. Arms can stay here, or an added little bonus, if you want to, take the arms out a little further, challenging the core as they extend away. And then come back in. Now as you roll back, as you brace the belly, pulling it into the spine, roll through, I want you to think about the arms for just a minute here. Think about how they're feeling when they're pulling away, the opening through the back, turning them on. Good, feeling that stretch, that strength, and then squeezing through the pectoral muscles as you rise. Good, again, rolling back, opening up, feeling that strength that's hiding there. Come back up. One more time, we're gonna come back and hold here. Arms are nice and wide, the knees are wide as well. Now, try this, take the arms, pull them in to the midline, and then switch. Knees come together, the arms rise. Good. So you're squeezing the knees and opening them up, finding the inner thighs, waking them up here. Good. Keep the rib cage tucked down. Keep that belly pulled to the spine. Nice long back. Good. Shoulders are pulled away from the ears. The chin is gently tucked. And think about that force. What are you reaching in between? It's not gravy. It's not Jell-O. Maybe it's the thickness of the air being in your house for so many days. That's good though. So move the air. Squeeze through it. Feel that. Break through that tension. Find your breath. One more. Good. Give yourself a nice big squeeze here, rolling over the legs. And we're going to switch directions. So, I was facing that way before, so I'm going to come this way. I'm just coming forward into that tabletop position. So you can still see my front leg. If it's easier for you to just stay where you're going, do that. All right. So, focus on your other leg. For me, it's my front leg because I'm facing the other direction. If you didn't switch or wherever you're going, I have no idea. So it's on you. Sorry. If you need to rewind, just catch the replay. Hands will be right underneath the shoulders. Press them down. So find that strong footing. The knees are a little bit wide here. So if we sat back, same thing. There's space, okay? There's room for our bellies. Now pull the belly in tight. So even though we have room for it, we want to make it pull into the body. Pulling it in tight, bringing the rib cage down towards the hips, okay? Arms pressed down. Strong footing, take that front leg, let it reach behind. When you're ready, we will lift and lower. I'm going to kick my couch. So we're going to lift up and lower down. Keep squeezing through the back body. Good. Lifting up and lowering down. Now make sure the hips are nice and square. Feel that strength. Good. On the next lift, hold there. Flex the foot. Find the bend and that extension. Please continue to focus on the length of the spine, keeping it nice and long. Good. Try to avoid any wagging of the tail. Two more. Last one. Keeping that bend, we'll lift and squeeze to the sky, turning on that bum, squeezing it even tighter to lift and lower. Good. Keep that lift. Three more. 2, and 1. Hands stay where they are for those 3 push-ups. We'll press down, turning on those triceps, and then squeeze yourself right back up again. The knee stays nice and high. The chest is peeking over the hands as we raise, reaching our nose almost towards the front of our mat. 1 more here. Good, that firefly push-up. Take that leg nice and long this time. The back arm will thread its way underneath. So remember, back to that T position. We'll thread it under. So hand comes down, back arms up. We're gonna reach, rotating underneath. Try to keep that hip as still as possible as you roll back. Now, I don't have as much room on this side, so my form is a little bit jacked up, so I'm sorry about that. But just focus on your body, taking as much space as you can. On the last one, we're gonna roll through and touch down. So take that palm down, forearm down, and then the back hand down as well. So remember, the chest stays square to the floor as much as possible. The front arm is a little bit more long here, maybe has a little micro bend. And then the hips are stacked and rolled open, okay? Now take the foot, tap it towards the front of the room, towards like that corner of the mat, okay? We are going to lift it and extend to the back of the room. So that front arm's long. Try to square the hips towards the camera, the shoulders towards the ground. When you're ready, take that foot, kick it to the back of the room and down. So as you're doing this lift, I want you to squeeze the bum. Keep it nice and tall. Keep it locked in. Last one. Foot will come to the front, lift up and down. So you're at that corner part. Good, peeking up and down. Two more. Last one. The knee will come in for that micro bend and extend back. Good, find the breath. Feel the extension. Feel your strength. Taking up space. Good, break up that tension of the room. Two more. Last one. Leg stays nice and long. Find those little tiny circles. Keep pressing the knee down, feeling the length of that shin as it reaches on the ground. That's holding you up. Good, feeling the strength of the forearm, the shoulders. Switch directions. Stay here. Good, now touch down. We'll come back to the hip. So I want you to bring the elbow down, right underneath the shoulder. The forearm is down. The FedEx guy is getting a show. All right, the foot will be towards the front of the mat. Knee is down, okay? What I want you to do is bring the hand towards the hip, the sky, or the floor. We're gonna lift up and lift that hip. So same move as before. Remember, it's that one where we went from here to lift back. So squeezing through the side body, the hamstrings, lift and lower. Take 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Now touch down. Option to stay down or find that side lift here. Continue to pay attention to that shoulder, that you're pulling it away from the ear. It doesn't hurt. Pull those obliques in tight and take the leg up and down here. So from here or from here. Good, nice long spine. Keep the chin tucked. Keep the head in line with the spine as much as you can, please. 2 more. 1 more. Find those little circles. Reaching around. Tiny little micro movements. Growing from the hip. Good. Feel that length, that strength there. Find your breath. Come to the top, pause, come to the other direction. Circling around. Nice big roll through the spine. Take 2 more. And touch that foot down. Back to that nice big stretch. So reach the foot towards the front of the room again, that corner direction. And we're gonna take the back and take that top arm and reach it almost overhead. So we're finding that opening, that stretch here. If you wanna take that arm out of the way, maybe move it back just a bit, that's okay. And just let yourself rest for a minute. Feel that stretch. Now take the leg, reach it towards the back of the room, and reach the hand to the front, and see how that changes things. Feel that? That's where we want it. So right through the lower back, stretching through the spine, feeling the breath, feeling that space that's hiding there. All right, little tiny micro movements. So we'll take that top arm, float it around, the leg will touch down in the back, and then the knee will shift in, and we'll bend in just a tiny bit. You can continue to come if you'd like. Now extend, press through the leg, reach, find that extension, touching down or holding here. Coming again, reaching, rolling through, squeezing that side body, lifting the leg. Now reach, extend away. Take 3 more big circles. Tiny little squeeze through the leg. Good, slowing it down, waking up the back, the spine. And last one. Beautiful. Now we're going to roll onto our backs for just one more quick section here. Taking that front leg, finding its way to that figure 4 stretch. Although last time I think I switched it up on you. So take your back leg, bring it across, bring it crossing on the front knee, and pull the knee in. Feel that stretch. Making sure you guys can still see me okay. I'm going to shift back just a tiny bit. So when you feel like you've had just enough of that stretch, we'll come back to stretching in just one moment, but we're going to do a quick little bridge sequence to end today. So taking the hands long next to the body, I want you to just find the length through the chin, tuck the chin, find the length of the spine, bring the rib cage down into the hips, lowering them down, finding that softness. Now the spine's long, the back so far isn't doing anything crazy. The hips are just soft and wide, and the knees are right around the same width as the feet. Now the four corners of the feet are pressed in, and I want you to just start to engage the core. So start to brace the belly, maybe tuck that chin, maybe tuck that tailbone, maybe tuck the rib cage in, feeling that length there. The arms continue to fall next to the body, but let the shoulders just remain wide here, okay? Now, starting to tuck the tailbone, thinking about it like a wave, we'll start to lift one vertebrae at a time, squeezing through the back body, releasing the front, and come up to that Pilates bridge. So when you think about a Pilates bridge, we want to stop so we're in one long line from the knees towards the shoulders. So in yoga bridge, we often come like real high here. I don't want that. I want you to drop the hips down just a little bit more so it's like a plane of glass is on top of you. So nice long line here. Now roll yourself back down. And I want you to imprint that feeling in your spine and then go right back there. Start to roll back up again and lift and hold in that Pilates bridge. Good, so squeezing nice and tight and lower back down. Good, again, come all the way up, roll up, hold here. Now we're gonna hold in this bridge position, pressing through the feet. I want you to lift both heels at the same time, but the challenge I want you to focus on is not coming through the hips. So I want you to keep the hips as still as possible as you lift up through the feet and lower back down. So try to avoid coming like up here as you lift and lower, right? I want you to stay still here, squeezing and just lifting those lower heels. Good. So the heels will lift. There will be a tiny little movement through the hips, but really turn on the back body. Squeeze them even tighter so you stay nice and elevated. Not much movement happening. Good. Take 2 more. Last one. Heels will come down. Now try this. Lift the toes off. So your heels are down, the toes are lifted, and roll down. All right, heels are down, toes are up. I don't know if you can see because the words are right there. So I want you to press through the heels, roll up again. Find that bridge. Same thing, stop in your Pilates bridge. So one long line, okay? Roll back down again. Squeeze the back body, roll up. Hold here. Good, now take the knees, open them and close them. So we're finding our heels are pressed down, we're opening and closing into that butterfly position, widening and lowering. Try to keep the hips where they are, not dropping down. 3 more. 2. Last one. I want you to squeeze the knees out, dropping yourself down towards the floor. We're going to keep the knees nice and wide and squeeze up back to that bridge position. Good, lower yourself down. Again, roll right back up, staying on those heels. And one more time. Come all the way up. Hold that bridge. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Take the knees. Bring them back in. Take the toes. Touch them down. Take the arms. Let them come overhead. And slowly, very slowly, roll down one vertebrae at a time. Good. Taking the knees in. Give them a nice big squeeze. Maybe find a little rock back and forth. Slowing down the breath just a bit. Let the front leg go, resting it nice and long on the mat, keeping the back knee in. I want you to give it another really big squeeze. Now try this. Take the foot. See if you can almost cradle that knee and foot and squeeze it in even tighter to the chest. Taking some big breaths in and out. Now take the knee, we'll drop it towards the front of the room. Finding a nice long spine, walking the shoulders in line if you need to. Dropping both shoulders towards the mat, letting the arms go. If you'd like to twist all the way through the neck as well, pick up the head and peek towards the back of the room. With each breath, try to let go of even more tension. Relaxing the mind just a bit more. Gently grabbing the leg, we'll bring it back in, touching it down, letting it come long, and the front leg will come in. Back leg nice and long. Start by just pulling the knee into the chest, finding that softening through the chest, the shoulders, feeling the stretch of the hips and the buttocks. Again, grabbing towards the foot, giving yourself a little bit of a hug here. With each out breath, feel the release, the tension just leaving. Take that leg, let it cross over to the back of the room. Walk the shoulders in line if you need to. Let them fall towards the mat. Head can pick up and reach to the front of the room if you'd like. Taking that knee into the chest, we'll bring both legs in. Give yourself a nice big squeeze and we'll slowly rock up to a seated position. Give yourself those butterfly legs and roll over. Nice big stretch through the spine. Good, stacking the spine. I want you to take the feet in. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I will be back next week, same time, 11 o'clock on Saturday for Pilates. I had a blast. If you have anything else that you want to target, if it's more arms, more back, more hips, more butt, whatever it is, just let me know. Please find some time if you can to get outside today. The sun is kind of finding its way in and out of the shadows, but I want you to find some fresh air, find some time to just find a little bit more peace. The only way to get out of the situation that we're in is to just keep going. So keep doing what you're doing, keep staying home, keep joining us for these workouts, finding your peace, finding your breath. You know, the mental part of this is so important. So reach out to us if you need anything. We all miss you and we can't wait to see you when the club opens again. So have a great day, get outside, get some sunshine and fresh air, and I'll see you guys soon.